Oh, that's fine. Hello, hello. I think we are live. Yeah, I think we are live. If anyone obviously can hear us or see us, maybe we're not live, but if you can, drop a little hello down the bottom, who you are. Say like, hey, it's Tom from Mexico and Cancun. Or Curtis, where are you from today?
Why do you have to rub this in? I'm in cold England.
I'm sorry.
Cold ass England. You're in sunny, hot Mexico.
It's not sunny today. I'll let you know that it is not sunny.
Your face is glowing from the sun.
Yeah, that's because the camera is a bit off. It's
yeah, all right. Yeah, that's it.
Next week we'll do a live stream from the beach. So Curtis, where are you from? Where are you streaming from today, roughly? Like in South England, Northern England?
I don't know. Essex.
Okay, he's in Essex.
Yeah.
I lived in was it Hampshire, kind of like the New Forest area, so down there. Lovely, really lovely place. Right. So obviously, if you are here, just drop us down a comment below and just say, hey, obviously we can just see, obviously, if anyone's in. So we've got a couple of people coming in now. If you want to know, Curtis and I were talking about the weather in other countries, and hence why we kind of said, talking about this and how hot it was in Thailand. We've both been there, so very, very hot. But if you want to know, today we are here doing a live, not about travel or anything or hot weather, or where we are, if we say, it's about VAs, virtual assistants, and in particular, listening to Curtis, his journey over the last year. He's hired a VA, we've got a VA in his business, and we just want to hear about that. We want to hear what it's been like, all the ups and downs, and trust me, there have been some downs. Because like, don't tell them, Tom, don't tell them. And I think the question comes is like, what has he learned and what can he share from that experience? So really, really important there. So obviously today we're going to go through 1 year in. It's been about a year now, hasn't it? Pretty much around a year.
Coming up, almost a year. Yeah, coming up to it now. Yeah. Quite close.
Almost a year, fantastic. Yeah, so a year in my life with a VA by Curtis, fantastic. And from obviously Level Up FBA, fantastic. So a couple of people said hi already. Luke, hey lad, thank you so much. And we've got a couple of Facebook users. If you don't know, we're using StreamYard. So if you accept StreamYard, that's going to allow us to see your name and your face. So that's helpful. You don't have to. If you want to be anonymous, you can. But obviously, we won't be able to say your name and shout you out. So obviously, just drop a hi, maybe where you're coming from, down in the comments below.
That's if I can load up my computer as well to say.
That's right. Curtis said, don't worry, honestly, I can do it all. And I think if I just double check, so obviously we are live in Facebook, so I can see that. That's fine. Cool. Okay, so should we, I think, let's just kind of get started, because I appreciate if people want to catch up, they can watch it on the replay. So things first, if I just kind of, what I'll do is, actually, I'll just do this. So if anyone doesn't know you, Curtis, first things first, thank you very much for joining us today. Really lovely to have you on. I know we've done a couple of videos together and obviously met quite recently, a couple of months ago. But if anyone doesn't know you, do you want to just introduce yourself and tell a little bit about who you are and the history?
Cool. Do you want the beginning or just a brief overview? So, I'm Curtis. I'm 26 years old. I was 26 to 27. I had the right to think then. And I've been doing Amazon full-time, pretty much full-time now for the last 4 years. I started off with about £500 about 4 years ago, like I said, when I was working as a delivery driver for Ocado. I was doing sort of buying and flipping on the side. I'm very small buying and flipping on the side. On eBay, I had an accident at work and I had a bit of back injury, and it got to a point where I was just like, you know what? Before going back into employment and looking for a job again, I will give this a full crack. And doing retail arbitrage, doing books, that sort of stuff. Found another job whilst doing that on the side, building up Amazon, stuff like that. Got to a point now where I'm quite comfortably living life in my own terms, doing work on Amazon. What else do I say?
Well, first, do you have like an online age and then a real age? Because obviously you don't want to seem as old as maybe you really are.
In public I'm 18. Act like I'm 18. I look about 16 with a beard, but on paper I'm 26.
So I love it. Fantastic. So and also, if you don't mind me asking, just so we're really crystal clear, do you do Amazon full-time, part-time? What's the situation?
Full-time. How long full-time now.
How long have you been doing it full-time?
I'd say like properly full-time, 2 years probably, maybe a little bit more. But for the most part, it was like 90% of my income. I was working odd jobs here and there. It's only, within the last sort of 2-3 years, I've done it full-time.
Fantastic, yeah, and I think that's a really important thing to do because I've met you. You're making a living off selling on Amazon. You're doing it full time, growing your business. We did that video a couple of months ago, which I really enjoyed doing with you, and obviously seeing the operation. And I know you haven't been so. Obviously, if you don't know, Curtis runs a Facebook group, Level Up FBA, and also a YouTube channel. Really lovely. I do love them. I do watch them. But obviously, you haven't posted for a while. Or you've been obviously quite busy. Is that right?
Yeah, like our conversation before we went live, I bloody hate editing so much. I love recording, I love talking, I'd love to do more like a day in the life of like whatever I'm doing. But it's just the editing. I hate editing so much. So I think this year or whatever, when I'm at time, is to look into maybe hiring somebody to do editing for me. But like you said, it depends on the cost and how much I'm willing to invest into that side. And obviously that takes away time from my main business as well.
Yeah, and obviously, and having met you, your passion is very much around the selling side and doing that. And obviously, you really enjoyed doing the community. That's great. But it's, I just remember having those chats in the van. It was like 3 hours of van journey, conversations. It was great fun on the way to Wagamama's, on the way back from Wagamama's.
I love Wagamama's so much.
You do love Wagamama's a little bit too much.
I love it so much.
But hey, I think that's really good to know. You do social media as well, but it's not so much about that. It's your business is taking up the biggest part of your time. And I think that leads us quite nicely on. Today we're here talking about 1 year, in your life really of having a VA. So I think, first things first, thank you so much for just sharing about who you are and also as well taking your time available. You're a busy man. I really get that. So, thank you for you sharing your time with all of us and also everyone else watching this. Thank you for you if you're in here watching this live today. Really appreciate it, or on a replay. Your time watching it, your time is valuable. You've got your businesses to run, and hopefully we can share some value that's going to help you out. Maybe if you're thinking about getting a VA, or just how you manage it, or you've even got one, maybe Curtis can share some top tips and tricks. So let's kind of just start off at the beginning. So obviously you say you've been doing Amazon for quite some time, but you've been doing it full time for about 2 years. And if I'm right, you got a VA about a year ago. Let me ask you the question: why did you look at getting a VA? What was the reason? It might
have been longer full time. It might have been like 3 years. But it got, the reason I wanted the VA, like we spoke about it, it was just a case of am I working in my business or am I working on my business? And that's something that is always like that phrase or whatever it is, has always is now embedded in my brain to sort of change the way I think and how I invest time into things as well. So it was a case of, am I working in my business or on my business? And for the most part, 99% of the time I was working in my business and keeping it ticking over, sourcing, getting the products arriving, prepping them, sending them, repeating. There was not really any growth outside of that. And if there was, it was so insignificant, it wouldn't really make that much of an impact to the business long term. Short term, it might make an impact, but long term, there was just no scope for growth, just because I couldn't have the time to invest into that. So I got to a point then where I was like, well, where am I actually spending the most time of my day being productive, but working in my business and not on my business? And it was a point of it is sourcing and doing admin tasks and that sort of thing. And it like when we spoke, it was just a case of, right, I need to financially think of, if I cut out, say, for example, 6 hours of my day, which is sourcing, and outsource that to somebody else, how much am I going to get in return for that, if that makes sense? So, for example, if I'm paying someone £10 an hour and they're going to make me £20 an hour, and they can do the same job as me, then that makes financial sense from a financial perspective, but also from a business perspective and a personal perspective, to outsource it and get somebody else to do it for me. So that was really sort of the starting point for me. And a lot of it was to do with you, dude, honestly. When we do talk as well outside of all this, and we are friends, are we?
Well, officially. Public we are, unpublicly
Publicly we're friends. Secretly we're lovers.
I won't tell your other half that.
We won't tell them that. No, but it was like the conversation that me and you've had, where you sort of I love the way you do it as well, because you're not telling me, you're just asking me the question. And I remember you always going, so hey, tell me, where do you think? And when you do that, I'm like, this is where I know you're going to get me thinking. And you've done it so many times, and you ask me questions. I'm like I am literally just working myself to the core, and I'm not growing. And I think it's because you allowed me to identify what I was doing wrong or where I can improve. That allowed me to go to the next step.
Yeah.
I'm just now.
No. Hey, I really agree. And I while we were talking about this, obviously it's been a year since you had a VA, and I still remember having that conversation back in, oh my God, it must have been like August, what are we now, 2018, if I'm right? And it was in the train station, St. Pancras, is that all? King's Cross?
Oh my God, yeah.
I remember it, and it was a really interesting conversation, and hey, you were doing really well, and obviously you still are now, but it was a very interesting conversation about like, what does the future hold? Where are you going? What's happening? And obviously you sharing about your journey. So that was really nice. And if you don't mind me asking, obviously I know that, but can I ask? Can you share that with that conversation and what your thoughts were from it going forward? That because that does relate to why you got a VA, doesn't it?
Well, the conversation of when we met up the first time in London.
Not so much the conversation, but the outcome of it. What happened? Like what changed for you?
Oh God, mate, you're scratching my head now. I don't know. I don't know what really changed. It was more a sense of just acknowledging what I was not doing and what I was doing. And what I was doing was, like I just said a second ago, I am just working in my business. I'm not growing it.
Yeah.
And I think that was it. Really was just a shift of mindset. That honestly, though, like I said, I've been full-time for 3 years. And I'd honestly say it's within the last 12 months that I've managed to scale the business not massively, but in my eyes, compared to the last 12 months, massively. So it was just a change of mindset and getting to that point now where I know what I need to do. I know what needs to be done. It's just doing it and making sure I have the time to do it. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, we'll come back to it. I just quite interested to say you said in the last 12 months it's really grown, like kind of what the factors are around that. Are you able to share now? Like, why do you think you've grown so much in the last 12 months?
I honestly would say April, my VA, and it is just a case of there is only so many hours in a day that you can do anything. Do you know what I mean? So it was just a case of I am just going to be repeating myself, because it is just a case of, like I said, there's only so many hours in a day you can work, and if you're spending that time doing the same things you've done yesterday, you have no other time to do anything else. You have no time to focus on other parts of your business and improving your business. So if I wasn't working on my business, I was working on admin. And when I wasn't working on admin, I was working on my business. So I was working in my business, sorry. So there was no really me time to scale it.
Cool.
So I think that's what changed.
And hey, that's a really nice reflection to have, and thank you for sharing that. So let me ask you a question. You obviously you did hire a VA, and obviously I'll be open and honest. You hired it from us, didn't you? We were one of the first. You are, I think, one of the first customers we had. Like literally, we were in testing. We're like, is this going to work? And obviously, you hired a VA. So don't go into too much detail, because I appreciate we want to get into the real bit, which is about the year, what you've learned, but. There's something very special about that initial hiring a VA. What happened, and tell people about that.
Right, from the scratch. Then I'm going to explain this.
Be honest.
Obviously, I wanted to get a VA. The hardest part for me was parting with the money. Oh God, threw my pen. The hardest part for me was parting with my money, because I'm an absolute cheapskate, and I love holding my money to my chest. But it was just a case of I need to part with my money and focus on growing the business. So, oh God, what was the question?
So what was that?
Whenever we have an interview, me and you ask me a question, I get sidetracked.
You do. So what what was that first kind of like hiring process like? And the reason why I'm asking that is because something happened. I want to get to.
Right. Yeah. The hiring process, right? Yeah. So really, really easy. Like I said, once we had the conversation that I wanted to get a VA, and I did finally part with the money, it was just a case of training them up and verifying them to make sure that they can do the job.
Yep.
I've had VAs in the past. I've had VAs like through Fiverr and Upwork, but they're not qualified for one. And 9 times out, in fact, probably 99% of the time, they're working for others and they're sharing leads or they're buying it from lists and redistributing it. So you're always getting thrown in with someone else's stuff. So getting your own personal VA who's working in your business was really good. Obviously, they went for the academy, going back and forth, and eventually we got to a point where we got our first VA. Can't remember the name, but within I think it was only the first week or two, they gave me their resignation, and we had some words. I said I gave them the criteria. I said, this is what you need to be doing. I get some people can't do the job straight away, and I was completely fine with that. I was happy to do a month or two with them completely messing up. Happy as anything to do that. But yeah, 2 weeks in, she went, here's my resignation. I just can't meet your targets. I can't do it. And I said, hold up, I haven't really set you any targets. I'm asking you to provide the minimum with the minimum criteria, and that is fine. But yeah, that didn't go too well. But then obviously I spoke to you, and we sort of changed it from there, didn't we? We got my beautiful April, my favourite.
And I think that the important thing to realise here, and the reason why I asked you that question, because I think for anyone, and hey, like Michael, we run a couple of things. Number one is you've gone through Fiverr, different processes, and you said they're not right. And my God, you are sharing a really good question, and I'll come back to that in a second about they know you want leads, they know the value of the leads, and then they're going to sell them to you, and they're probably going to sell them to someone else and to someone else. And that's a really big, my God, everyone asks, how do I know my leads that I'm paying for, they're not being sold to someone else? Because, hey, that's a really valid question. And I will hold that for a second, because I'd like to ask you the same question about April in a minute and what your thoughts are on that. But we'll take a second. And if you don't know, if anyone's asking, April is the name of Curtis's VA now.
Yeah.
But what I also do just want to highlight is the fact that we were starting out as an agency, and and I'm really grateful you came on board and you allowed us to test with you in your business, and it didn't work, and I think and obviously we got you a second VA, April, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I think the one most important thing to really take away from that is the fact that even now, today, with all our experience and everything that we've done and how we interview and we test, it's still a human being, and it's still a human being, staff member, a VA, working with another human being, a client. And even with all the best will in the world, sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes the VA wants a job so badly that they'll, and I remember this because in your case, your VA, she was working 15-hour days, wasn't she? She was up at 1 a.m. trying to find something. She couldn't find the deals.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. It was oh my God, don't work that many hours. We should really, there's a problem here. But she just quit, didn't she? She didn't want to help. She just wanted to quit. So she quit. And it was these things happen, unfortunately. They do, don't they? They're just human beings. But I think it was another, week or two down the line, we got you a replacement. So, and that was April. So tell us about April. How was April?
April's the best. I love April. We talk all the time. On the weekends, everything. No, April's brilliant. April's is obviously my only VA at the moment. We are looking to have another VA, possibly another 2 VAs by Christmas for Q4. But yeah, April's my VA now. She's so chill. But she knows what she's doing. I think that's what comes down. I think that's what it comes down to as well. Like you said, is that they're people, and you need to treat them like people. They're there to do a job, but they're also people. They have emotions, they have personality, and you've got to be able to communicate with them. And I think that's really important. Me and April, we just we even out of hours, we just talk, just random crap. She's like, oh, I've got steak for dinner tonight, or I've got fish tonight. I'm like, oh my God, send me a picture, and she'll send me a picture of her dinner, and I'll send her a picture of my dinner. Stuff, or Christmas Day, she sent me a picture of her family saying Merry Christmas from my family to yours. So we sent one back. I thought it was so nice. Yeah. But she does. Sorry, go on.
That's it. That's like, if you think about like a typical corporate environment, it's like we go to work, we talk and work, and then we stop. But that's like a real relationship, isn't it? I'm not saying like you're dating her, but you've got a very close friendship with your member of staff, and and I wouldn't, I'm not saying it's the typical or not the typical, but you do have that close relationship. And can I ask you a question? Do you think having that close relationship, i.e. sending a picture of Merry Christmas from my family or sending dinner, do you think that's helped your relationship with her and hence your business? Or do you think it's actually hindered it because you're too close? What do you think?
No, I think it's helped my business. Look, at the end of the day, they're working in your business. You're trusting them with so much. You're trusting them effectively with the whole sort. Well, me anyway. I'm effectively trusting them with like 70% of the whole sourcing side of the business. I need to trust them. I need them to be honest. If they haven't got a clue what they're doing, they need to be able to say to me, look, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. And I feel like if there's that sort of level of, like we hired someone as well in Q4 2020 to prep for a month or two. And I said to me, she was like, oh, you're my boss. I was like, never call me that. I was like, I do not like that word. I hate that word. Boss, or you know what I mean, you work for me, that's it. But as far as it goes, we're friends. Like, we're chill. I pay you, you do your work. I'm completely like, I'm super laid back anyway, you know what I'm like. But I need her to be able to approach me and say, look, I don't feel comfortable sourcing this website. I haven't got a clue what I'm looking for. And I need her to be able to say that. Because then I can go, right, well, look, let me help you and let me show you how and what you need to be doing and what you need to be looking for. And when she makes a mistake, I want her to tell me she's made a mistake. And if she has sent me something and not realised that, I will happily go back to her and say, look, you've messed up, but not in a horrible way. I'll say, you've messed up. This is how, this is why, and going forward, this is what we need to do. Yeah. And I think because we're so open with each other, because we're so relaxed in that sense, that she does take it on board a lot better.
Cool.
I thought she's part of the business. I don't want her working for the business. She is my business. She's part of my business. She's my network. So I need her to be on my side always. So yeah.
Fantastic. I've got VAs. Can I ask the question? Does she still call you yes sir, no sir, or does she call you Curtis?
Curtis.
Okay, fine. Okay, interesting. So you've trained that out of her. That's good.
Every morning I get hello, hello, loads of O's, and I'm like morning, and she'll send me a picture of her coffee. She's like, right, let's go. I'm like, let's go.
And I will just put out there, this might be my 42nd cup of coffee today. So someone mentioned like Hayden Davidson. So thank you very much. But hey, really, if anyone doesn't know, when you've got a VA from the Philippines, typically they will always call you yes sir, no sir. It's a very kind of, I don't know what the word is, like.
It's not respect. Is it respect or? It's like,
I think it's more like submissive, but don't quote me on that one. Like, you're the boss, I do whatever you say. Yes sir, right. No sir. Like if I say go fly to the moon, yes sir, and like you can't fly to the moon, so you're not going to do it. But it was just like yes, yeah. Okay, so quick question for you. The interesting thing which I just talk about there is you say hello, you do the morning, and Christmas. And I ask you that question because I've done a lot of management training in Vodka Revolution. I used to work for the Times Top 100 employer, and we actually did a training course with the Times, the Times newspaper, as part of top 100 employers. And one of the big things they said is that the top managers from the top companies, what differentiates them? Simply, they know everything about their staff. They know their staff members' birth dates, their dogs' names, their husbands' names, their children's names. They know everything. And it's really interesting because you've built that relationship with them, and you said it, and I really agree with you, because you are closer to them, they now feel part of the business and they're invested in it rather than I work for it and it's just a job and that's my boss. So there's a real relationship there, and that's lovely. That's really nice. Yeah, that's really nice. So let me ask you the question, and I'll come back to, and I asked it earlier. Everyone's like, okay, Curtis, let's play devil's advocate. All these VAs, mate, honestly, they're working in the country. They know you want deals, and they know other people want deals. So how do you know your VA is not selling the deals to someone else? What would you say to them in your experience now with, how do you know April's not selling the deals to someone else?
I don't.
Cool.
That's it. I don't know. She might be, she might not be. But like you said, they're in another country. I've got to trust them.
Do you think she is?
No, I personally don't think she is. But and I trust her. But I will trust someone until they break that. And if I find out she's done that, then we'll be having conversations, or you know what I mean. The next step comes in, but I will trust someone until they break it. So,
and can I ask you a question? Are you worried that she is, or
no,
that she could be?
No.
Okay.
No, not bothered. The thing is, look, there's deals out there on the internet every second of the day, 365 days of the year. Someone's going to find them. April might find me the best deal in the world, and then Joe Bloggs might find it an hour later.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean she sold it to him. It just means they were both looking at the same place at the same time. The internet's very big. Everyone's on the internet. We're all looking for the same things. It's going to be found eventually. It's the way I've tackled it really is rather than asking her to go out and find me leads, I'm specific on what the leads are, like what I want from a lead. So a lot of the things that people always go for is, oh, we want 30% and £3 minimum profit or £2 minimum profit or whatever. I'm like, look, go out there and find me leads that have 50p profit as long as it doesn't cost me more than a 5 reach. Yeah. And I'm not bothered. Like I will tell her to change it, or I will send her a website and just say, look, this is the category, go through that, go through this website. Or no, I might have a specific wholesaler and she'll go through all that. And not many people are going to have access to it because it's a wholesaler. So that's the only way I've really tackled it. But then, look, like I said at the beginning, it all contributes to, if you make that VA part of your inner circle and part of your family and you're part of your business, you shouldn't be giving them any reason to do that to you. Yeah. You pay them on time, you pay them well. As you go up, you bring them up with you. And do you know what I mean? If they step on your toes, they step on your toes. Move on, get on with it.
Hey, it's interesting. Like I say to people, you can never guarantee they're not going to sell the deals. That's that's if someone wants to do it, they'll do it, and like screen recording software, it's still going to happen. But the idea is to create an environment where they don't want to sell the deals. They value the relationship they got so much, they never want to risk it. And I think from this point, you've got that environment. So thank you for sharing that. Question for you. Obviously, it's been a year. Let me ask you, what are some things that have worked really well over the last year? What kind of top tips can you share for people who are right? I'm looking at VA, or maybe you've even got a VA now. What would you share with them? To say, what worked for me. Like you said, you got to know them on a personal level. You talked about the deal analysis or finding deals. Are there any kind of things you like? Actually, I found this worked really well, or this is something that's what helped me.
I don't really know. Plan the days. I think planning the days helps.
Cool.
I think letting them know what you want to do. I always find I always let people know what I want done the next day, the night before. Mm-hmm. And the night before her is I think it's like 3 or 4 o'clock midday or whatever. So long as you sort of let them know by then, or when they're asleep, that's fine. Because when they wake up, they've got set instructions on what they should be looking to achieve for that day. Yeah.
So, question for you: Do you have to plan every day for her, or if you didn't, could she get on with stuff? Does she know what to do?
Oh no, she can. Because there's days sometimes the last 2 weeks I've completely forgotten. So she's just like, hey, I've gone through this wholesaler. This is the link for the website. I think these products are good. I've also found X, Y, and Z. Because at the moment, the whole first 2 months of Q1 really for me is to get another the eBay side of the business really amped up. So she's just taking care of all of that at the moment. So at the moment, it's just a case of her going through wholesalers, finding wholesalers and qualifying them, and then me going in there and just verifying it or then signing up. Once I'm verified, she goes through the wholesalers and does it all for me. So at the moment, she knows what she's doing, and she knows what the plan is for the next month or two. But before that, when it was like Amazon sort of things we was looking at, she would know what she's looking for. And if you didn't, like I said, you plan it the night before. You go, right, we're focusing on groceries. This is why we're focusing on groceries. This is what we're looking for, and this is where I'd start. And then she gets on from that.
Fantastic. Just if I just kind of interrupt quickly, if anyone's got any questions, and I'm just going to put it out there, Curtis has mentioned some really interesting things. Number one, he's got a VA predominantly to do, or she's initially to do Amazon. She's now contacting wholesalers. And she wasn't originally trained in wholesale, was she, Curtis?
No, it's something we've trained her up in the last sort of like, just before Christmas, just after Christmas, we made that transition into training her for that. She honestly, to God, I could literally load up a list now of about 30 to 40 good qualified wholesalers, and she funny enough, she helped me crack an account for a wholesaler that is like top tier wholesalers, like minimum orders. I think the minimum order was 10k. Just to get an order, just to place an order was minimum 10k plus that, and she's helped me make sort of an application and go through that and all the documents just to get them. So sorry.
No, honestly, not sorry. And the reason why I just kind of like say stop there for a second is the fact that, as Amazon sellers, we're doing arbitrage and we're like, cool. But also we're really aware that we want to maybe diversify. We want to look at wholesale. We also want to look at, hey, eBay. Look at it. So if anyone's got any questions, maybe they want to ask, drop it in the comments down below. And obviously we're going to come back and answer them. So, obviously put them down. If you want to know a little bit more about the wholesale side or maybe like the eBay side and like what's going on there, drop it in the comments down below. Obviously we can do that. So just drop your questions in. I appreciate Curtis isn't going to give away his secrets. He's like, no, I'm not going to give away anything. I'm off. I'm out of here. Bye. It's news to follow. But yes, if you want to know a little bit more about like maybe how he's changed his VA into wholesale, or maybe if you're looking at getting a VA and you want to go down that route, Curtis can probably share about that. So drop it in the comments down below, and obviously we'll get those questions answered. So obviously, Curtis, you shared some kind of top tips: build a relationship with them, treat them, give them clear direction every single day, obviously, but you don't need to do it every day because they'll get on themselves. And hey, you've built a really lovely relationship, and I think that's the foundations of building a great VA. Is there anything that maybe you can recommend people not to do? Like, don't do this, don't do that. Is there any things to avoid, should we say, that maybe you've learned over time?
Or by having a VA?
Yeah, or maybe even like managing the VA and think like, hey, actually, you know what? Like, we did this, it didn't work.
I mean, I feel like I'm repeating myself. That's something I don't want to try and repeat myself too much, but it is just a case of, for me personally, I always want to be treated like just an individual and as completely chill as you can. I hate formalities, and I hate them, but I dislike formal talks. I hate formalities, which is why I'm just chilling out and happy to talk to you now. And I think that helped me massively with my VA is that we are so relaxed and we are so chilled out. We know the goal, we know what we need to do, we know how to get there.
Yeah.
I think that's what I can say. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what to say.
No, it's cool. I think for you, the question is it sounds like you've had the initial starting of having a VA was, you use external services, didn't work. You came with us, and the first VA didn't work. You got a replacement, and it's worked really well. The top tip I'm taking away from here is personable, build a relationship, get to know them on a personal level, work very closely with them, and as a result, they will work wonders for you. You talked about opening up wholesalers, moving on to doing wholesale outside of arbitrage, and also doing eBay as well. And then, and then now you're looking like, actually, you talked about it, I think it's quite a nice thing, is to say that you're looking at potentially maybe another one or two going into Q4 this year. So I think that leads us quite nicely on to like, what does the future hold for you? Where do you want to, take your business? It's been 1 year now since the VA. Is it like this is it, or are you going to grow, or what's the situation? Because I know you don't just do Amazon.
Also, it's probably a bit of a contradiction, to be honest, because I know everyone's sort of out here to make money. And obviously it depends on your circumstances. Like, I'm in this for money, don't get me wrong, but I'm also in this for a bit of a chilled out lifestyle. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be, personally, I don't want to be grafting my arse. I mean, I do, don't get me wrong, I graft. I've been grafting for a long time to get to this point, but going forward, I don't want to keep grafting my arse off. Like, I've got medical problems. I don't want to be in that position where I constantly have to be working. So the position that I want to be in really in the next 24 months and maybe a bit longer is outsource pretty much most of it. Everything, really. Because obviously we trialed out Q4 with somebody in-house prepping. Worked amazing. Our numbers doubled. Our unit outgoings doubled. Profits pretty much doubled because we're just selling the profits. Sorry, our overall profits were doubled because we just had more time to send more stock out, and it allowed me more time to focus on buying stock or focusing on other parts of the business to help it grow. So really going forward now, the plan is obviously I'd like to have, ideally, by Q4 2021, another 2 VAs. Minimum will be another 1, so it'll be April and somebody else. I'd like to have an April managing that VA. So I tell April what I'd like. Obviously, we'll have a group chat, but I'd have April sort of essentially leading them and how to do things and what to do, what not to do, and obviously I can input now and then. And then obviously have somebody in-house prepping and just have it all automated. And then I can retire with my Lamborghini.
Come join me out in Mexico.
I'm never getting to that.
You're never going to do it. Hey, enjoy the Lamborghini. Fantastic. Hey, I think that's really interesting. Baby. I think that's really interesting, and it's nice to hear that you're going on with, you're looking to, and do you see? Can I ask a question? A lot of people might be like, well, I don't really need a VA. I don't need a VA. I don't need a team. I can just do it on my own. I'm quicker on my own because my God, a VA. Well, I've got to deal with them. What do you say? Apart from
you can't. Yeah, I've tried. You can't do it. You hit a ceiling. You will hit a ceiling. There's only so much you can do in so many hours in a day. You can't do everything. You need a team. You need people to help you get to where you need to go. And don't feel like you're letting yourself down by letting others in. You're growing. It's part of growing. You got to let go of the reins sometimes and do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I remember that conversation back in the train station a couple of 2 years ago, and also many conversations with other people with the fact that, don't get me wrong, we're good at what we do, we make money, definitely, but there is a ceiling for our time, and sometimes we just got to let go to let other people do it. And hey, they're not going to be as good as us, but even if they're 80%, 50% as good, that's still that 50% that we don't have to worry about. They're now getting on with it. So as long as they're making money on top, then that's going to be really important. So fantastic. So obviously you're looking at growing that business. You're looking at outsourcing that. Is wholesale a route? Is eBay a route? We kind of touched upon that. What's the future around that? Is it just what's going on?
Wholesale is like what we're going down now. So obviously RA is still RA. I like RA. You make a lot of money in RA as well, but it's just so time consuming. It really is. I mean, there's a lot of look, I will still do it no matter what happens. Whether I'm making loads of money a month, I will still do RA because I enjoy it. It's a day out. It's a sad day out, really, isn't it? But it's a day out. But yeah, we're mainly moving into wholesale now because we're looking at volume. We want to be focusing on volume, and it's hard to do volume when you've got, Ocado can drop off 2, 3, 4 grand worth of shopping at night. Brilliant. But it's all the faff. I don't want to be faffing around with bloody plastic bags, sorting it out, refunds, substitutes, missing things. I can't with that. I just want to get wholesale. I want to go, right, here's my order. It's 20 grand, 10 grand. You send it to me. I'll send it to Amazon. And then I redistribute it. Or even it gets to a point where I redistribute it to other sellers. Brilliant. Yeah. So that's the goal at the moment, to move into wholesale. Like quite heavily. We're moving to saying that we've secured 7 accounts. I think 6 or 7 accounts in the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks today, 7 new wholesalers we've signed up to, and we've had I think 4 or 5 pallets of stock delivered so far, and it's selling like a lot. It's selling like a lot. It's selling a lot. Okay, I'm not going to try to swear, but it's selling a lot. Yeah.
So how did you? It's a good question. Did you do all the wholesale, or did your VA do the wholesale side? What's the situation there?
I done the wholesale to start. I showed April what I was looking for and the type of wholesalers.
Yeah.
Like you generally get a feel for wholesalers when you go on their website, like how it looks, how it's laid out, what sort of products they sell. The entry, especially this as well, the entry level to get into that website. I feel like that has a big factor into it as well. I thought a lot of people, some of the best wholesalers that I've dealt with, they have the worst websites. Worst websites. Like you have to search for their contact number. You have to search for, little things. But they proven to me so far to be the best ones. So I've sort of just shown her what I'm looking for in a wholesaler and the type of products to look for. And if they sell those, add it to the list. I will then go in, I will sign up and make the account, also with my credentials, and then share them with April. And then she'll go in and just literally trawl through the entire website.
Wow. And that saves you so much time, doesn't it?
Huh?
It saves you so much time. You don't have to worry about
so much time. So much time. I'm good saying that. I've just been given a wholesale list this morning from a group, and on it now there's 2.8K items, 2,810 items that I need to go through, and it is the prices are really, really, really competitive, but it's done by pretty much everything you buy. I'm looking at it now is pretty much buy like you have to buy a pallet almost at a time, or when you order you have to fill up a pallet sort of thing. It's weird. I'm just reading through their terms. That's something that I would personally go through. But when it's just like generic website, wholesale websites, that sort of thing that I've qualified, then she knows what she's doing. She gets on with it.
Interesting. And hey, I think the real big takeaway there is the fact that your business has grown over the last 2 years, or 4 years, sorry, 3 to 4 years. You've really grown. You've hired a member of staff. They've helped you out. You've built that relationship, and now they're transitioning into other things. They're finding wholesalers. You're opening up the accounts, and now they're going through, and they're saving that time, aren't they? And as a result, you're now no longer dealing with like little ones and twos. You're like, right, pallet.
Yeah.
I think this year is going to be a massive boom for you. And you said it, 2 years time, I want to get out. I want to be done.
Yeah. Look, Amazon's great. Amazon's so good to make money. It really is. But like me personally, this has always been like a cash cow. I want to make money, and I want to make it lazily.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a word. Is that even a word? I don't want to be. I've worked hard. I've got to the point where I need to be at. I now want to just keep growing it and eventually transition out of it into something else, whilst that is still operating without me. That's why I need an army of VAs. So, yeah.
And I want to just take a moment now, because I appreciate, look, we've spoken for quite some time, and we've got a couple of questions coming in. So if you've got any questions, maybe about wholesale, maybe about eBay or anything else done, drop them in the comments down below. The one thing which I do just want to say, and I'll be really honest with you, is we've got an offer right now with Fast Track FBA VA Academy, and I'd like to just take a couple of minutes to go through that. This is something that Curtis went through himself a year ago, but is a lot better now. I'm not saying what Curtis received wasn't good.
I feel like you needed like a little shimmer then, and like these are some words from our sponsors, and it's just like.
So what I just want to do is just take a couple of minutes right now just to go through the offer we've got for Fast Track FBA Academy, and then obviously if you've got any questions, put them down in the comments, and we will answer those questions, myself and Curtis, and obviously give you your feedback. So honestly, put them in. So if I just kind of jump through, and what I'll do now is go into here. So this is we're doing this now part of the January promotion. So if you are looking at starting, or if you're in your Amazon business, Curtis and I have both done this. We're both scaling our businesses at different levels, and many other people growing an Amazon business with virtual assistants. Honestly, really, really important. And Curtis said it, you've got to be working on your business, not in your business. And having a VA makes such a big difference for that. So quite simply with us in the Fast Track FBA Academy, what do I really recommend? You need to take action. Curtis said this: getting a VA, get started, follow the steps, and build a great team. Now, April is Curtis's great team and the foundations of it. And Curtis has talked about that. So how can you do it? How can you build a great team? Quite simply, it starts with a manual sourcing VA. That's what April was. That's what she hired through us. Quite simply, she is a manual sourcing VA, and she's gone on to do so much more. And Curtis is now talking about taking her to the next step. So always starts with the right person. So manual sourcing VA is what I always recommend, and everyone else build that relationship like Curtis talked about. Now, quite simply, for you going forward, how do you do that? Well, quite simply, you can use the Fast Track FBA Academy. Now, quite simply, we do the hiring, the training, and we support you for 15 weeks. So that's literally getting them from brand new member of staff right through to that support. And hey, we do everything for you. Exactly say we do it with Curtis. If they drop off, if there's a problem, we support you. We go through it all. We teach them the foundations. We give you the support, or a whole team supporting. And last year, we've hired over 90 VAs, one of which you'll see is Curtis's. VA that he's got April right now. So honestly, yeah, I know quite a few VAs, 90.
That's quite a lot, isn't it? Jesus.
Yeah, I know. And also it's the clients. We've got clients doing over 120K like on 4 hours a week. It's really amazing. Just supporting them in their businesses. So, and that's not the VAs doing 4 hours a week. So that's the clients. So quite simply, we set everything up. So we set up the deals, we set up the tools, we set them up on the BuyBot Pro, the FBA multi-tool, the SaaS, all your equipment that we use. We just do that for you. We make it super, super simple. Now, also as well, if they're not getting results, and I will say this, we actually monitor all the VAs while they're in training and even while they're with you. If they're not getting results, we pretty much fix the problem. And if we're not happy with the result, then we'll replace the VA. And hey, if the VA leaves, we've got a great refund policy to support you to make sure that obviously, either we'll get a replacement or you're like, actually, no, I'd rather not. I'll get a refund. We can talk about that. And obviously give you a great refund policy as well. Now, also as well, we've got some new additions as part of scaling, as part of your VA Academy, growing your business. And this is one thing called the MBA Workbook. This is a new thing we're launching in January, and I'll just take a quick moment to talk to you. So it's basically building up all those 90 clients, the years of documentation, everything that we've learned from them. And even in my business, everything we learned from there, it's an online workbook, which is live. It talks about onboarding, performance management, training and career development, rewards, incentive schemes. If maybe a VA leaves or you want to fire a VA, how to do that. It's literally a go-to guide that's going to support you. Also as well, operations management, what you need to know to support that manual sourcing VA in your business and to grow. Now, quite simply, it contains 60 topics that we've broken it down into, all of that 60 different topics. It's got downloadable templates, guides. You can just fill in the blanks and go done. Best practice guides, video content, and it's live. So say, for example, if one day Curtis says, hey, Tom, I've learned a really cool thing. Any chance you could create a book about this or a guide about this? We would create it. We'd put it in the MBA workbook, and that would give you access as well, because you get lifetime access to this online resource called the MBA workbook, which is part of the VA Academy. So quite simply, how much is it to hire a VA? Maybe you're looking like Curtis. You're like, hey, actually, I want VA. How much am I looking to hire one for? What's the cost going to be? Well, quite simply, it's only $497. Now, that's an amazing price. And if you want to know, it's not just $497, but we've got some bonuses for our first 50 customers. Now, this did launch in January, so a lot of these customer slots are already sold, but I'll just walk you through the bonuses now. Quite simply, 497 VA Academy. We've also got an online training course, which the VAs will go through, but also you get your own access to that. That is worth £247 if you wanted to buy it on its own. And you can go on the website now and buy that. In addition to that, you've got the MBA workbook. If you're going to buy that on its own, and you can buy it today on our website for £497, you get access to that. We're also going to give you 3 months worth of fast track FBA leads worth £177. And quite simply, that's because we understand that it's going to take time to get your VA up to scratch. It's going to take time to deliver those deals. So what do we want to do? We want to make sure that you get deals coming in. So hence you get access to fast track FBA leads. And then also as well, finally, the one thing which you really understand, and we've learned from years of experience and as well, is that all the resources in the world are okay, they're good, but it's about having support. One-to-one support, we're really, really supporting you in your business. So what are we doing? The best clients we've worked with, they've actually had coaching with me in the past, and they've scaled massively and really, really fast. So what we've done, we've now basically put together 12 weeks of one-to-one, or it's 12 weeks, sorry, of group calls, Facebook group calls in a private group, whereby I will answer any question you want once a week. I will answer everything on a live call to support you in your business. Now, if you were to pay for this on its own, 1 hour with me and my time, right now you can go on the website and see it, is £220. If you were to pay for 12 weeks of that, it would actually cost you £2,640. Now, I'm not saying that I'm worth £2,640 for 12 weeks, but if you wanted that, that's what I charge, and that's the price of it. But this is all included in the offer. So you're going to get 12 weeks private Facebook group with me going live every week, answering your questions directly, giving you all the knowledge I've learned, not only from my own business, but also from other people's businesses and what's worked with them, and helping you grow over the next 12 weeks and scaling. And like I said to Curtis, we've got people doing 100,000. It's like crazy. And they've scaled up to purchasing managers, everything, and doing 4 hours a week. Really, really nice.
I
am sorry, Curtis. Obviously, well, you were on the trial one, so back then we didn't have this all available.
Can I just question? Is it still 497 right now then?
497 right now. Good price. So what I
thought you would have gone up.
No, honestly, because what we thought was about keeping it at a great price, but obviously we can just support our customers and we can do it more efficiently now. So because we've invested in technology, we can do things a lot more efficiently. So quite simply, if you are looking at this, a couple of things I need to make you aware of. Number one is we limit it only to the first 50 people because we can't, this isn't an unlimited offer. Also, as well, we deliver your VAs on a first come, first serve. Like I said, we've already sold out quite a lot of these places already. It's not sold out yet, but a lot of them have gone. So we've already got a lot of people already booked in for their VAs. And normally it takes 3 weeks from the date of payment to the date of delivery of your VA, i.e. they start in your business. Now, the one thing you've got to remember is we've already had quite a lot of customers come in, so that's going to be shifted back. So you might have to wait 2 weeks, and then we'll start that 3-week process. But what I will say is my team are really fast, really efficient. So we will obviously let you know the date we're estimating it will be able to happen. And the reason is we want to keep the service standards right. We talked about it with Curtis. His first VA didn't work out, and we've learned so much from that we understand that to keep a high service standard, we can only train 10 VAs per week, because if we train any more than that, we're just going to drop the service and no one benefits from that. So might be a bit of a delay. It's 10 VAs a week we're training, tops. And then obviously we're going to do those first 50 people in 10 at a time. So keep an eye on that. So if you are interested, obviously do have a look. And the question I always kind of ask anyone, and hey, Curtis, we had this conversation a year and a half ago. Where do you want to be in a year from now? What's the future hold? Is this going to be another year where you kind of go along and keep growing slowly, or is it a year that you invest? You invest in growing your business massively, scaling, hiring someone else that's going to work 40 hours a week growing your business. Curtis talked about it like April was an amazing thing. You can't do your own business all the time. For me, oh my God, I've got 30 VAs. I live in Mexico. I have I will truly say that I could never ever do what I do without them. And it's been a real pleasure, but I could not do that without my team. So having a team to support you allows you to step back, but also as well allows things to happen without you. And we're here to support you. And I think fundamentally, get the right person. I always say that, hire the right person first, and then everything else comes so much easier. So,
do you know what I think as well is I feel like it makes you feel like a business as well. Like, I get it, you are a business. You pay you are a proper business, but when you've got VA, when you've got your own staff, I feel like for me it was sort of a bit of a kick up the arse in terms of like you've got someone who sort of relies on you, and you also rely on them.
Yeah.
So you need to match them. You need to keep up with that, and you constantly need to be providing them with work and things to do, and in turn they're going to provide you with something. So I feel like it makes it for me when I got to April, it did make me feel a bit more like I'm a business. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and it's like, oh my God, I've actually got to do some work now. Like, oh my God, this is like a real thing, not like a part-time side hustle.
I think it's a lot easier to see the bigger picture as well. Like, when you have someone else helping you, you definitely can see what needs to be prioritized. And oh my God, the extra time you do have to do things is beautiful.
I know.
So nice. Like, before you called, I'm not gonna lie, I spent the last 2 hours playing games.
And obviously you're doing some big numbers.
Zero shame. I've got no shame in that. But I spent 2 hours playing games because everything that I needed to get done today has been done. Yeah. All the fulfillment's done. All of our wholesale orders have been checked and sent to warehouse. April's checked all the wholesalers. She's done all the listings. She said, all done, case. Gonna have my dinner and pop off. Talk to you tomorrow. Lovely. Talk to you tomorrow. And that was it.
My God.
I've got an email to do tonight, and I've got a few more wholesale applications to do. But yeah, oh man, the free time's so good.
I love it. Honestly, I love it. What I will say is, we'll jump over to questions in a minute, but if you are interested in this, something that you want to do, and hey, I'll say it as, Curtis said it, is it still 497? Yes, it's still 497. The one thing which I will add is right now, Fast Track FBA is about to go VAT registered. So if you are not VAT registered and you want to save that 20% on the VAT, get it in now, because any day now, we're going to go VAT registered, and it's going to be 497 plus that. So if you want to save that money, get in the order today by simply fasttrackfba.com/VA. Really, really simple. It'll just, you literally go in, just literally sign up, and then we'll fill out a form. It gets all the information we need, and then my team will be in touch and tell you the delivery date, what's going on, support you. We have a really good onboarding process now. We're really slick with it. And also as well, you get me in a private group. We do a weekly live, so we're really here to support you. And hey, even Curtis said it, like, my God, 497 is a great value, just the service itself, and we've got all the extras as well. So that is limited to the first 50. So just obviously have a look at that. And if you are interested, or if you've got any questions, just ask me and we'll answer them. But cool. So let's kind of jump.
497 is like, pardon my French, it really is fuck all. Like when you look at it, it is like, how many times have you brought stock and it's been so bad and it's sat in Amazon's warehouse for like months doing nothing? £497, and this isn't me like trying to like gas up the products and buy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really isn't a lot of money in terms of what you're getting from it and what you can do with by having a VA. Yeah. Like we made that back in the first week.
Yeah, I remember you. I remember
telling you, we made it back within like 3 days. It was crazy. I think first day she gave me like 9 leads. Okay, fair enough. Like 4 or 5 of them were pretty poo. The other ones were pretty decent, and one of them was like golden. And I think I ordered like 80 units of it. And I think it was saying like Playmobile. I can't remember what it was. And that covered us like straight away. Sorry, I had to say that. I just like butting in there. Sorry.
And hey, I really understand you, and I really agree. And I think it's an amazing, amazing test. And what I will say is that that is, we don't expect that. So don't kind of sign up for this going, I'm going to make the money back in 3 days. That isn't what we would.
No, that is not the point I'm making. No, sorry. I'll make that very clear. That's not the point I'm making.
But let me ask the question: is April? Does she add value to your business? Was she worth it?
Yeah, that's why I was questioning why is it still 497.
Yeah,
that's like genuinely, personally, and I wouldn't lie to my group either. Like that's why I was questioning it, because the value that we've got from having April alone is, I mean, I'd pay 3-4 times that personally, all over again. Don't put your prices up. But yeah, I would.
You heard it. Tomorrow prices are going up. No, I'm joking. Right, let's kind of go to some questions, because I appreciate we could be here.
Yes,
thank you. And obviously, thank you everyone for watching. Obviously, if you want to know, fasttrackfba.com/VA. Really, really simple. So let's just kind of jump back over. So we've got a couple of questions coming in. Hi, lads. So if you've got any questions, drop them down below. Hayden Davidson said, "Is that coffee number 42?" Yes, it is. By the way, I'm immune to coffee now because I've drunk, unfortunately, too much. So, honestly, thank you.
Me too. I feel your pain on that.
So let's just kind of go here. We've got a question here from Terrence. How much value does a VA add to your business? How much do they allow you to grow? And hey, that's a really subjective question. I think it's subjective. I could probably talk to you about financials just. Curtis, do you want to talk about that first, or should I talk about it?
I'm just trying to find it. Sorry. Oh, it's on the screen.
On the screen, yeah.
How much value does a VA add to your business? It depends what you define as value, whether you mean that financially or, personally. I look at it more towards personally rather than the financially, because that follows suit anyway. I found it was. I mean, for the guys and girls that do manually source or use like lists or websites, whatever, or mainly this refers to like manually sourcing, but it's so laborious and so hourly, like so time laborious that I don't know. It's just, I hate it. There's nothing more. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy it sometimes, but sometimes when you're doing it every single day, 7 days a week, it's like, Jesus Christ, like I need to do something else before I pull my own hair out.
Yeah.
So I think the value that I got from April was it just allowed me to free up so much more time for other things.
Yeah,
it depends. Terrence got to ask. I think Terrence, sorry, man, you got to ask yourself a question as well. Is where do you find yourself in the business right now? Like honestly, like, ask yourself this. Like light some candles, turn the lights down low, and ask yourself the question of like, am I working in my business or on my business? Do you know what I mean?
No idea why you.
You got to make it romantic. It's all sensual, isn't it? But yeah, you really have got answers, and on it, and don't try and kid yourself, and don't try and like gas yourself up, because I did it for ages. I was always like, yeah, I'm doing all right, I'm doing fine, I can do it all by myself, rah, 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 rah. But then, yeah, you can't. You really can't. I promise you that you really can't. And me trying to do things now, like when April was off during Christmas, I tried to do things that she was doing. I hated every single second of it. Even when like the girl was doing the prep for us. Now that I've got to go back to prep for a little while until we go back into Amazon properly, yeah, no, not fun. Really not fun. I hate it. Really do hate it.
I love the fact that tonight you said, Tom, prior to this call, I had 2 hours of game time, and I'm not even ashamed of that. And I was like, you know, my God, it's like 7 o'clock when we started. It was 5 o'clock. You finished. You know, you're doing good numbers. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say it, but you're doing really good numbers. You know, and you've only got one VA. You know, you could be like me and have a whole team. But you're like, I'm finishing at 5, and I'm playing computer games for 2 hours, and then I've got a live with Tom afterwards. You're like, that's lovely. That's really, really nice.
Yeah, I finished at like 2 o'clock today. I lied. The 2 hours was an understatement. I've been on my computer for like 6-7 hours playing games and buying stocks and shares. I'm not even joking. I'm sorry. I'm not joking. And I get up early. I'm most productive in the morning. So I got up early. I got absolutely everything done before the crack of dawn. I got all the personal errands and work errands that I need to get done. And I was done for the day. It's like, not every day's like this, bearing in mind. I do normally graft my arse off. Like, I will do emails and wholesale more tonight before I go to bed.
But yeah, it's nice that you do. And and Terence, I would just come back and to say, hey, you know, we are different. You know, Curtis and I are different in what we do in our approaches. You know, if you look at like how much profit a VA generates per hour worked, or like per week, for example, you know, if I kind of give you an idea, we kind of talk about like £400 profit per VA, and then the VA is costing you about £100, so you're netting out about £300. So per one VA, you should probably roughly be making about 1,200 profit per VA per month on average. You know, that's the kind of figure that we kind of talk about, and it can go much higher. It really depends on sourcing strategy, volumes you're purchasing, etc., etc. But that's kind of a good guide. But if I kind of put it in perspective, like, you know, I was talking to Curtis before this, is, you know, last month I reckon I probably made, I don't know, because my financial figures don't get done by my admin VA until the 15th. I reckon I probably made like, I don't know, not huge, but like 6K last month, you know, net profit after everything, which isn't huge. But I said to Curtis, I probably did like 8 hours all month, 10 hours all month on the business.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Like, what? I just made $6,000 on 10 hours worth of work. Isn't it? You know, I was traveling, I was with my family. All I had to do was move money and have a phone call. And, you know, I appreciate that I'm at a different end, but it's about growing to there and not looking at it in isolation, but looking at the whole bigger picture and saying, actually, what does this allow me now to do? So, you know, the one thing which I'd always say, and Curtis, you know, you say this all the time, is the fact that you can't do it all yourself. And if you do think you can, then I would classify that as a job as opposed to a business, because if you stop working, the business stops working. So you really, you know, and I don't think this is worth, I don't think Amazon's personally worth doing if you want it to have it just as a job, because there's so much risk. You know, we talk about, like, you've only got one customer, they can say no at any time. You want it to be like, actually, I can grow bigger than me and I can scale this business up. But hey, interesting. We could be here forever talking about the pros and cons of that. So,
can I just add as well? Sorry, it's a bit unrelated to the point, but the whole, you have one customer and that is Amazon. Very, very, it's so true as well. So true. And I feel like 90% of people in these Facebook groups, not just mine, but everyone's Facebook groups, is that if Amazon shut their doors and closed down, everyone will panic and be out of jobs. Like, it will be like crazy. With your VA, you got to remember, it's like you're not limited to just Amazon. Like, they're trained to do Amazon. That's it. They're trained to, and they're trained to do it to a good level. What you do after that is down to you. And it's only the last month we've planned it, and the last 2 weeks we've executed it, really, to train April up doing other parts of another business. So they're not limited to just Amazon, but by going, and again, this isn't an upsell, this isn't me trying to get people into it, but but by going through your academy, you're qualifying that person that they're going to do the job, that they are literate, they understand and speak English properly, and they understand all the basic fundamentals of what your business is and how it works and operates. But they're not limited to that. They're not limited to that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I felt like that was quite important to add.
No, I agree. And I think that's a really good point in the fact that you're not just limited, you're an example, you're doing Amazon and then you're doing wholesale on Amazon, but now you're looking at, eBay as well, and you're doing eBay sales and that. But I think also as well, the real fundamentals, and I always say the fundamentals is the fact that it's about hiring a good person. April is a good person. She's smart. She's switched on. You communicate well with her. You have a great relationship. As a result, now because you're going, hey, we're transitioning into another platform as well. Can you help me with this? And she's like, yeah, I'm just getting on with it. And like, that's just so nice. I don't have to now do two marketplaces. Like, actually, maybe I'll hire another one, and April just deals with eBay, and someone else just deals with Amazon. And you're like, now I just got to move money, and it kind of works. So yeah, really, really good. So yeah, fantastic. Let's move on. So Sean here asked about what about using a prep center? I think it's a good question. Curtis, you know, thought about a prep center?
I work on very small margins. I do. So we mainly focus on things like volume. So where something that's making us 50p after VAT, for example, adding prep into that is just not feasible. It really isn't. So when we, I can't remember the exact numbers we had, but I remember like, I can't remember it was weekly, but I think at one point, the prep the girl was doing, bear in mind, like I was helping her as well. But the prep, I think she'd do like minimum 3,200 units a week prepping. It was something stupid. A lot of it was like bulk of the same item. It might be like 600 of one item, whatever. So it was just repetitive polybagging, etc. But let's just say, like, how much did prep fees? I've never really looked. But how much do prep fees charge on average? Like 50p.
50p.
50p. £1,500 that would have cost if I sent it to a prep centre. Yes, it'll be next day. How much?
£6,000 a month. You're talking there. 1,500. Yeah,
that's stupid. That to me, and I see people's bills, and I just think that's so crazy. Like, why would you put yourself in that position where you have to pay so much money to just get your product out? So, sorry,
you can live in Mexico. Right. Well, I'm going to move on to the next question because we could talk about it forever. So he's running off getting more polo mints. I don't know. So
no, I'm on charger. My phone's about to die.
Fine, he's got a charge. Right, okay, cool. So the next question I kind of ask is, what sort of turnover ROI per month would a VA be advantaged and affordable? While Curtis is doing that, I'm just going to jump in and say, I will kind of add to that to say, look, the question, it's a really interesting question. It depends on your model. I know people who are buying products which are ranging from sales rank 1,000 to 100,000 to 400,000, very low sales amounts, very high profitability and ROI. And they just buy very small volumes of them, but they have a massive range and it works very, very well for them. But also I know people who are doing insane volumes, much tinier, smaller margins, and that works really well for them. You know, if I thought about my business, we still work on the, yeah, I can still see you.
Yeah, my phone's overheated.
Oh, wow, it's right. It's right.
It's not going to, my phone's on 2%, it might die.
That's right. We'll see how it goes. If you die, I'll take over.
Okay.
But if we talk, I don't know what we're doing. What's Curtis doing?
Right. Keep going. I'm going to get my laptop jumped out.
So the question comes is, so I think it really depends on you and what your model is, and you can make it work. But I wouldn't so much talk about, like, we work on the typical £3 profit, 30% ROI. We will go down to like £1.50, 20% ROI, even down to 10 sometimes. I try to avoid it, but there are certain conditions. And it's all about, I did a live on it previously at the beginning of this month, which was about find a model which works for you. Like, we go to Argos, we buy the toys section and we sell it on Amazon, and most of the time it works. You just built a process. Like, that's what we do. We do, like, we go to Ocado, we spend £3,000 a week on goods, and it goes a bit hassle, but it does work. That's a process. All you do is you get your VA to do that process and then just repeat it. It saves you having to do it. So quite simply, if anyone wants to know, a VA costs, we recommend about $3 an hour, which is about 500 US a month, or £380 per month for 40-hour work week. So generally speaking, so long as you're covering that, that's fine. And most of the time, they're probably going to be making you like £1,600 profit per month, and they're going to be costing you £400 per month, which means they're going to make you £1,200 net profit. So that's roughly where it is. Curtis, obviously I don't want to stay too long, so we'll just fire through them. So any quick questions about sort of turnover ROI would be advantageous and affordable for VA? Any thoughts on that?
I will apologise. My phone's, I don't know what's happened. My phone's overheated and will not charge.
That's fine. If you die, you die. Don't worry.
Very sorry.
I'll just say thank you now. Thank you very much now, honestly, for doing this. If you do die,
it's all good. I won't die, I hope. And what sort of turnover ROI per month would a VA be advantageous? I can't pronounce the words. And affordable. Oh God, device overheating. What sort of turnover?
Let me change it.
I don't understand the question. Sorry. What's the sort of turnover? It depends on your capital. I would say it depends on how much capital you've got. Not so much turnover and ROI, is how much capital have you got. If you've got like 10 bags in your bank or like 20 and you're not spending it, that's a problem. That's a problem. So if you're making, if you're turning over, say, 10% ROI a month on 10, 20 grand, yeah, you're making £2 grand a month. Brilliant. But you have to be spending that amount of money every single month to reach that, really. So, I would say, there's so many fundamentals that go into that question. So I don't want to give up it's quite hard to answer it. But my one would be, look, if you've got money in the bank and it's not doing anything, it is doing nothing. You are not making money.
I do believe his phone has now died. So, as he said, if you've got money in the bank, spend it. I'm not saying spend it, invest it in stock. So really good point there. So what I'm going to do is go through all the questions down below, and then I will just say, obviously, thank you. So Terence, thank you so much for that one. And obviously Curtis has chopped off. Well done. So quick question we've got here is, what's the average wage per payroll per sourcing VA? With the Fast Track FBA Academy, you get to choose. So when you onboard, you get to choose the payroll amount. So we kind of do we recommend $3 an hour. I said this before, it's about £380 a month or $500 US. 8 hours, that's for an 8-hour day, obviously 40 hours a week. That's pretty much it. Really simple. And we write the contract to you, we do everything. When they sign off, we'll tell you how much to pay them on the first payroll run, and then we'll tell you how much to pay for every payroll run thereafter. So we do all the calculation for you, make it simple, and just help you out. Sean's asked here, top tips for profitable wholesale. I'm not a good man at that, so I don't really do much wholesale at all. So Sean, I can't help you, but I will see if I can get Curtis back on at some point, and obviously we can answer that question. So we've got a question here: how much does a VA charge per month? And hopefully you got that. So it's really interesting you say about a VA charging. Top tip for you, just your use of language, is I would really, really recommend, don't think of a VA as like an external person. Curtis talked about it in this live about, we always worry about, does the VA give deals away? Do you trust them? And you build trust by creating them as part of the family, getting to know them and really having that relationship. So and the reason why I say that is when the VA, here he is, you coming back in? Let me add him back in now. Hey Curtis, you're alive.
Am I in?
You're in. Phone or computer?
Oh, I'm on my computer. I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot. I let my phone up against the candle. I've had to let it cool down by the window. It's I think the back and everything. What's going on?
This is just worrying, isn't it? So before I ask you, Curtis, we'll just come back in. So quite simply here, we've got a question which is, how much does a VA charge per month? Now, we talked about how much that is. We reckon $3 per hour. But quite simply, the one thing which I'm saying is that just by the use of language, how much do they charge per month makes me think that you're thinking that they're kind of like a contractor and they give you an invoice and that they're someone else. They just work for you. And I said, don't think of it like that. Think of it like the VA is part of my family and I pay them. They're an employee. Now, technically under EU law, they're not an employee, but by calling them a member of staff, by calling them an employee, you create a much nicer working environment. And also as well, you create them like family, and they're less likely to cause problems. They're less likely to run away, and they really value the relationship more. And that's what you want. You want them to value it. You want them to say, someone else wants to come and offer me a job, but I don't want to work for them. I want to stay with Curtis because he's a good guy. He shares pictures of his dinner with me and says morning every day. Yeah, I think that's really important. So quick question, here we've got another one. What are the benefits of a VA? Curtis, quick fire round, benefits of the VA. Bullet point.
Right, best benefits of having a VA. Like I said, depends on what you want to benefit from. More time, more flexibility, more family time, more room for growth. Feel like a business, bit of an ego boost. Yeah, but that is honestly very quick fire. But that's not a joke. It really is. You do have a lot more time to do things that you want to do. And for those that heard me ranting on earlier, you do have a lot more time to work on your business rather than in your business. So that should be the two benefits. That are the deciding factors to me is, do I have more personal time, and is my business still growing because I'm working on it? And they do.
I agree. If I just kind of add that, two things. Number one is when you are at the coal face, i.e. Amazon, every single day, it's very hard to step back and look objectively at your business and to say, what do I want to do next? Do I want to do eBay? Do I want to go into wholesale? Do I want to transition? Do I want to scale? What's working, what's not? You're just doing the same thing every day. So having a VA allows you to create a bit more headspace and gives you time and freedom to say, look objectively at your business and work on your business, not in it. And the other one, which I would really say from a lot of people who've had VAs, are like, it isn't until you've had your first VA that you don't actually realize the impact they have on your business. And it's kind of like, once they've had it, they're like, oh my God, they're going to be a purchasing manager. I'm going to scale my business to this. They start to see that actually these people are good and they do a really good job. And you're like, wow, this is incredible. So just that first step is kind of like jumping onto, building a team is so eye-opening. You don't realize what they can do and what, Kurt's proven wholesale, eBay, so many different things that's really helped out. Quick question here, Curtis, is, so great question, thank you very much. HP says, do you give your VAs your password to do admin tasks or just send them your sales report?
I personally still do all my admin myself. I mean, I haven't really got a problem with giving it to April, but it's something that I feel like that is the part of the business that I need to be focusing on. That's my objective, to make sure the business is going in the right direction and to have a good overview. So, if I needed to, I haven't got a problem giving April my password, my credit card, nothing, my debit card. Obviously, I'd load it up with a certain amount for herself to use for purchases, but it's been, like I said, almost a year in our relationship now with working with each other. So I haven't got a problem. I really haven't got a problem doing that.
And I think that's really interesting. I think the point about that is, you said there's not a trust issue. It's the fact that I'm the one who has to do that. I want to do that rather than I don't trust them. If I use it in my case example, my God, my purchasing manager has like 3 credit cards. We've got like 6.5 grand, 14.5 grand and one, and the other, my Amex Gold can go up to 100K. So and do you know what the worst thing is that I have actually asked them, we said, can we buy noise cancelling headphones for all the client facing team members? And what was really interesting is that they could use my credit cards to buy from it's like the Amazon version in the Philippines, to ship it to a Philippines address, and it didn't come up with any security questions, anything, even like send us a text to prove it. I was like, what the? I was like, but hey, I do trust them. They're really good, and login details, everything. Same as you. I give them. You got to build in good controls. So they have access to purchasing cards, but we have a double check. So my purchasing manager buys stuff, he logs it, and then my admin VA will check it off us the bank account. And if we spot any anomalies, we investigate immediately and we suspend purchases, but we don't really have them. And then also as well, I do move the money around. So when it's like cashing out Amazon, cashing out, moving all the big business around every Monday, that's my job. So when you're talking tens of thousands of pounds every week, that's fine. That's my job. And I think, I'll probably continue to do that until I hire maybe like an ops director or something. I don't know. But that's down the line. So quick question, Sean. Sean asked a question because he did ask here, I've got 50K to spend, but he actually asked, do you have any top tips for finding profitable wholesale? Or are they the secrets that you're like, I'll share that in my next profitable wholesale VA how to do.
Course. I'm joking.
You don't have a course, do you?
No, I don't. Not yet.
Of course.
No, joking. Sorry, let me read a question. What tips to find profitable wholesale? You can't define a wholesale by
if they're profitable. Do you know what I mean? Like you won't know until you go through it. You can go through a whole website that looks amazing and find one product or none. You can go through the weirdest, quirkiest looking website and find loads. So we went through one last week and found 76 in one go. And it was a pallet we had delivered 4 days ago.
Wow.
5 days ago, sorry.
Hey, do you know, I'm just going to pick up on a point that you said about,
Monday.
and I've done some wholesale, and I'm not an expert at it. I find arbitrage works, and I'm just happy with that for the moment.
Yeah.
But the one thing which I will say is, and I agree with you completely, the worse the website, the cheaper the deals are. You know, if they've got a nice, flashy website as a wholesaler, generally it's just going to be a no-go. Yeah, it costs money.
It costs to look flash. It really does.
It does.
Well, I always look like a tramp, but but no.
Right.
I'm rocking my homeless man beard at the moment. So
we are coming up to the last question. So here's a quick question for you, Curtis. Are the VAs self-employed? What's the answer to that? Or if you don't know, I can tell you the answer.
No, they're not. They're employed by you.
Yeah. So let me put it this way: under EU law, they are not legally employed. So they have no employee rights, pension rights, etc., etc. When we do accounting for them in my business, we technically account for them as subcontractors because they're not, because how you account for illegal employees, you do differently. But we call them employees. We tell them they're employees, their staff, everything. That's what we want them to be. But obviously, under accounting, because the way EU works, you wouldn't call them employee because it means you then got tax obligations, but you can't prove that they're EU residents. But also, so they can't take you to court. So quite simply, is that we want them to feel like employees, and we want them to be employees, and we want that because that creates family, it creates trust, it creates a better work ethic, a better working environment, and security from their side. Because my God, why have they got the job? They want to pay their bills, they want to feed their family, they want to grow and succeed, and we want them to feel secure in that. And if we keep calling them freelancers and things, and they're going to be like, oh, when's this freelance gig going to end? So yeah. We don't want to have that conversation. So, and I wouldn't even talk about that, oh, you're self-employed, whatever. It's like, no, my God, like, you're my team member. If there's a problem, you
look after employees, your employees look after you.
Damn right. And hey, you said it, you said it is like April is part of your business. She is your business. And my God, my Amazon business is my VA. It's like, how much do I actually do in it? 2 hours a week? That's like nothing. So my business is not me anymore. It's them. And and hopefully you can see it whenever you deal with Fast Track FBA. I've got so many VAs who have client-facing interactions that they are my team. They are my business. And yes, they are subcontractors technically by the way we classify them financially, but I don't ever think of them like that, and nor do I treat them like that. They are my team. They are my employees, and we are just one big family. It's big. 30 VAs is quite a large family.
Massive.
Right, that is pretty much the end of the questions. What I'm just going to quickly just jump back to is you guys. So obviously, if you are thinking about getting a VA, let me turn off this. Obviously, do have a look at the Fast Track FBA Academy, VA Academy. Sorry, I should get that right. Because quite simply, Curtis went through this. It was 497 when he started, and it's 497 now. And we've got so many extra offers, and also it's not just about throwing in the extras. No, forget that. Even if we just did the VA Academy for 497, that's an amazing deal. Why? Because we've learned so much, we add so much value to your business, and we hire, as Curtis is a testament to, great people. And if you hire great people in your business, they will add wonders. So if you are interested in having a look at it, have a look at the fasttrackfba.com VA Academy. And what I will say is on that website, if you scroll about 2/3 of the way down, you can actually book in a free call with Anne, who's the head of my VA Academy, and you can have a 30-minute Skype call with her to chat about any questions. Like maybe you're not sure, maybe you're a bit on the fence, or you're not sure if they're going to be right for your business. Go to that website, fasttrackfba.com/VA. 2/3 of the way down, you'll say book in a free consultation with Anne, and you can book it in, and she will just have a Skype call with you, and she will talk you through all the answers. She's been doing it for a long time now, and she's got also as well 22 years of HR experience. So she really understands running businesses. So if you're like, maybe I'm not sure about how I manage them, what I do, or if you're not sure if it's going to be right, she will support you, and she oversees a lot of that recruitment. and also the training and development. So we are here to support you. If you've got questions, have a look at that. And if you do want it, it's a great offer. But remember, it's only limited to the first 50. So do jump in and get that before it obviously goes out.
That's really good with the and thing, doing the call. That's quite
I mean, because we get so many questions, and like you could be here forever chatting on NSN. It's like, let's just have a call. So much quicker.
She would hate me.
No, honestly,
she would hate me. The amount of questions I'd ask her.
No, honestly, I don't think so at all. And do you know the reason is people have so many questions and they're like, but my situation, but like, actually, we kind of had a lot of these questions already. We know what we're doing. And I think the one kind of question comes is a sourcing VA is pretty much standardized. We know what we're doing. But maybe you're like, we have some people who are like, I want a sourcing VA, but also as well, I want them maybe to do a bit of admin. So, I'm not looking for a full-time sourcing VA. I'm looking for a part-time admin, part-time sourcing. So you can have a conversation with Anne about that. And then what's going to happen is she will then speak to our recruitment team, and we've got someone doing recruiting full-time. All she does is interviewing non-stop. I know, it's like outrageous. But the interesting thing is she will then look for someone who's got maybe more administrative experience. So the right candidate, but a bit more admin focused. So as a result, we would hire you the right person for that role as well, knowing where you want to take them that direction. So a bit of customization there, but Anne's really good at supporting you in that and finding the right person, and obviously answering questions.
Nice. Just quickly as well, Aaron asked as well, what's the deal with the VA holidays paid?
Down here. What's the deal, Curtis?
Do you know what? I don't even know. You tell me. I honestly don't know.
So we write the contract for you, and in the contract we pretty much say they get, I think it's like 6 days off a year, which are all the Filipino bank holidays, and in addition to that they are paid, and in addition to that they will get off 1 day per month worked, which they accrue. So if they had worked 2 months, they'll have 2 days. They've accrued 2 days. Now, obviously, we can support you if you've got questions around it, but quite simply, the point is that. We come back to the point, we're trying to keep them like family. We're trying to treat them like staff. We want them to have holiday. We want them to have a break, and we will pay them for it. Why? Because they add so much value. Like Curtis, you told me this story. April was like, do you mind if I have this evening off or this day off? And you were like, just do what you like. Why? Because she works the weekends. She's like, I'm bored. I work the weekends.
She'll make up for it, yeah. Do you know the reason I've asked you to answer that question is I've never like not paid her. And I've never like underpaid her. I've always paid her full. Even if she takes like a day off or whatever, like I don't sit there and write it down. I suppose it's different when you've got multiple employees and 30 VAs. 1 day off for everyone is a lot of money. But I mean, with April, I pay her. I'm not gonna say how much, but I pay her, a monthly wage. The daily rate, if she has a day off, do you know what I mean? I'm really not gonna make a fuss out of it. It's a day off, bloody hell, like.
Yeah, and the thing is, she's adding so much value.
I don't care. Just, do you know what I mean? Like, if it's a day off, she has 2-3 days off a month, and she's not scheduled it, and she's done enough work, and I'm happy with her. I'm like, yeah, cool, go for it, crack on. Like, she messaged me, I think it was her and her husband's anniversary. I think it was last week, and although she wasn't booked in for holiday or anything, actually, like, hey, Curtis, can I have tomorrow off? It's my anniversary. I'm like, yeah, cool, go for it. Happy anniversary, have fun. Send me some pictures. I said, send me some pictures, and she sent a picture of her and him on some like fields, and they're like a little selfie. It was really nice. And it depends. It depends about yourself, mate. Like you don't have to pay them. You do have to pay them. Sorry, but like I pay April regardless. I will always pay her full amount.
I think the point is, if April wasn't adding value to your business, you would then question, hey, why you want holiday if you're not doing well? But
yeah, this is it.
By what you're saying and the way you're approaching it, like, my God, just take some days off. I don't really care. Why? Because you're adding so much value to the business, and I'm so grateful for what you do. It's fine, doesn't matter.
She pulls like mad hours as well. Like,
yeah,
I think I was telling you a few days ago, or I think it was you or Callie actually. I was we was working, and I think it's like 6 or I don't remember the time conversion, but. It was like, I was like, hey, can you add this list in place? And she was like, hey, I will, but after this, I need to go to bed. It's 1 a.m. I'm like, are you joking, man? I was like, go to bed. I was like, don't worry about the list. It's like, go to bed. Do it tomorrow morning. I was like, I don't care. Go to sleep now. Like, that's it. Shut off. and she still listed it.
And hey, that's like you built a family, you built a great relationship, and obviously you're a testament, and your business is benefiting from that. So honestly, well done to you. So we'll leave it there. We'll finish up. So what I will say is, from everyone, first of all, from me and for Curtis, everyone taking your time watching this live. First things first, thank you very much for spending your evening with us. I appreciate it's been an hour and a half. Normally, I'm going to try and keep you to an hour, but Curtis, you've shared so much, and thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you to everyone watching this. It's really nice that you just take your evening and spend time with us. But also as well, for me and everyone else watching this, Curtis, thank you so much for, number one, spending your time with us. And number two, telling us about your journey, telling us about what's happened. And hey, it's not been perfect. Your first VA quit on you and it was like, oh, but, you've learned from it and you've been through that. And it's been a year now in your business. And it's really nice to hear where you are. And I can, my God, you don't have to tell me. I can just feel it from how you come across. The April is such an asset to your business. The question of having a VA in your business right now is just like, no, it's just, I couldn't do what I do without her. And it's not even that, it's like, I love having her in my business. It's a family. So I can really,
it's a drive. It is. It's a drive. It's good to wake up and go, this is what's been done. This is what needs to be done still. And you're put in, instantly, as soon as I wake up, you're put into that work mode that I need to be in to get started. So, yeah,
definitely. And we talked about it, and you said it now. Looking, this year is going to be a really massive year. Hiring more VAs. You're looking at, getting people in your prep, doing prep for you because of what you're doing. And hey, that is fantastic. So, from all of us to you, Curtis, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure. And obviously, we wish you all the best. And hopefully, sometime later this year, COVID will calm down. I can come back and obviously do another repeat video with you. Obviously, an update on like what's going on Q4 2021. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Oh, just as well, before you end it, if anybody needs to message me, if anyone needs to message me, like any general questions, then by all means, I'm super open. In the group Level Up FBA. That's not a plug, but I'm just saying, if you do want to ask me a question, join the group, ask me anything, and I'm very transparent. I won't lie to you.
And I'll drop a link down below. So I'll drop a link down to Curtis's Level Up FBA Facebook group, and also as well his YouTube. So you can have a look at it. I know you're not doing any YouTube right yet, but you may do in the future. But obviously, do look in his Facebook group. That's really useful. And Curtis, thank you so much for sharing. Obviously, it's been a real pleasure. So thank you so much. And obviously, best of luck for the next year. And I look forward to catching up with you later on. But hey, everything.